An international meeting in Paris yesterday focused on the civil war in Syria. Delegates from more than 50 nations were there, including the U.S. Ambassador to Syria, Robert Ford. Clarissa Ward is in Paris and talked with Ambassador Ford. Clarissa, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie and Nora, from a very wet and windy Paris. Ambassador Ford was here yesterday to attend meetings between the Syrian opposition and its international backers. This comes on the heels of an announcement from the White House that the U.S. will give a further $10 million in humanitarian aid to the Syrian people. Yesterday, the Syrian opposition saying the time is for action and not for words. But in an interview with CBS News, Ambassador Ford was adamant that the U.S. will not intervene directly in Syria, even if this conflict drags on.
Oh, the U.S. has done a lot. We're playing a leading role in many ways. For example, we have substantially tightened the financial squeeze on the regime. And at the same time, we're providing vital humanitarian assistance to the Syrians.
Humanitarian assistance doesn't stop bombs.
Well, it's important, though, for Syrians to stay alive. We're now helping local councils in areas where the government has lost control and the opposition does control. We're helping them provide basic services. If they can't do this, Clarissa, they won't be able to manage the country after the regime falls.
But
so we're planting vital seeds.
None of these measures appear to be significantly getting the opposition to a place where they can defeat Bashar al-Assad.
I disagree. I think the opposition is actually making steady advances. 2 weeks ago, the regime lost its largest airbase in the northern part of Syria. The largest airbase fell. Air bases around the capital have fallen. There's fighting in the capital, which we didn't see 6 months ago. The regime, little by little, steadily, gradually, steadily, is losing its hold on the country. We have to have the opposition ready to play its role too.
So are we willing to wait another 2 years and another 60,000 dead?
I don't know how long it will take. We obviously deeply regret the violence that this regime has inflicted on its people.
But are we doing enough to stop it?
In a situation like this, we have to work on multiple fronts. So as I mentioned, we're isolating the regime, we're weakening the regime. We're working to set the opposition up so that it's ready to play its role, and we, at the same time, have spent over $200 million in humanitarian assistance to help people stay alive through this tragedy. I've worked in the Middle East for 30 years. I don't think I've ever seen people as courageous fighting in nasty, brutal dictatorships as I have seen these Syrians. But I also know from time in places like Iraq that Americans can try to help on the margins, but ultimately we have to let these societies find their own ways forward. The Americans can't fix this problem. Syrians have to fix this problem.
The ambassador also said that the U.S. is working very closely with the Syrian political opposition, trying to help it organize itself better. Essentially, the U.S. strategy really focused on trying to help Syrians prepare for the time after the regime falls. And the problem with that, Syrian activists say, is that in the meantime, this brutal dictatorship continues to kill its own people.
Great interview, Clarissa Ward. Thank you.